guys, welcome back. Today's video is another installment in my one brand tutorial series where this brand today is Kat Von D. So all the products I'm using are by Kat Von D with the exception of a couple where I didn't have a product by Kat Von D in that category. But the look I came up with is kind of a natural daytime look on the eyes, but I have a forest green liner on. So that kind of changes it up. Definitely something different, and I didn't do anything with the lower lash line just to keep it more wearable for daytime, but hope you guys enjoy watching. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, so the first product I'm going to be using is the Kat Von D Lock-It Featherweight Primer Base, and then I'm going to use the Lock-It Foundation. This is a sample. I have tried these before, both of them. They're very full coverage. The foundation is very full coverage, but I happen to have, you know, skin that requires that right now, so I'm just applying that primer with my hand all over my face. Now I'm using the Lock-It Foundation. This is in the shade 54 Medium. And I chose today to use it with a beauty blender because I feel like this foundation is so thick. I really wanted to sheer it out. Medium may be a little dark for me today in the winter months, but I'm going to make it work. Just taking the round end of my beauty blender and bouncing to press it into my skin. Alright, foundation is all done. Now I'm using the Kat Von D Lock-It Concealer. This is in the shade L3 Warm. So that foundation runs a little warm, a little dark for me, and this concealer runs a little bit light. So I may end up looking like extremely highlighted today, but we're gonna make it work. So I just did a little bit under each eye and then a strip down the center of the nose. And I'm using the pointed end of my beauty blender to press that into place. You don't need much with this concealer. It's actually kind of thick, dare I say a little bit dry. Kat Von D's face stuff tends to be, in my opinion, great for the oily skin or average normal skin girl. I don't know that she's particularly dry skin girl friendly, but perhaps she's working on a new line of hydrating products for us, for those of us with dry skin. But I'm taking it to the corner of the nose, out to the hairline, like a triangle. Then I'm going to take what's left on the sponge, no additional product, and I'm just kind of like pressing it into the center of my forehead, a little bit by the Cupid's bow, and whatever's left on the chin. There's hardly anything left. But that just kind of like, rather than having like, you know, triangles under my eyes, it'll tie it all in, where it's still dark down here, but I've got the highlighted under eyes. So Kat Von D has a new powder, a loose powder, and I really want to try that, but I don't have it yet. So right now I'm using the Tarte Smooth Operator powder, and I'm not going to need much of this. I'm just going to use it a little bit underneath the eyes to set the powder, or set the concealer so it doesn't crease. Because this powder, or this foundation is so matte, so I wouldn't say dry, but dry, I don't really need to set the rest of my face. I'm actually going to use the Kat Von D concealer as my eye primer today, so I'm just going to do a dot on each eye, and you'll see how far one dot goes. I'm going to use that same brush that I just used with the powder. It's just canceling out the discoloration that my eyelids naturally have. Priming my eyes for shadow. Perfect. So now I'm going to fill in my eyebrows. I'm going to be using the Kat Von D Shade and Light Eye Palette. And the eye contour palette has a bunch of different brown powders. So I should be able to find one that matches my brows. Use a little angle brush and fill them in. I went ahead and filled this brow in with an angle brush. I used the shades Latinus and Citri. Basically the neutral trio. The brown, light brown and the medium brown. So she has this palette split up into a warm quad, a cool tone quad, and then this is the neutral quad. And that's kind of how she designed this palette. So I'm using the neutral ones. I still think they match my hair perfectly. So if you need a clear brow gel, do that to set them in place. I can get away with the powder. My brows aren't too unruly. I keep the hairs pretty short, trimmed, so they can't like stray. Now I'm using Kat Von D's Everlasting Liquid Lipstick in the shade Double Dare. Why do I keep telling you Kat Von D? Because everything in this is Kat Von D. But I'm doing this first because it'll help me kind of keep the eye look on track, like not too dark, not too light. For contour, I'm going to be using the Shading Light Eye Contour Palette, and the shade is called Lazarus. It was the cool toned light brown there. And the brush I'm using is called It Cosmetics Contour Brush. It is a very kind of a stubby brush that's skinny. And this powder is pretty fair, which I like. But it still gives me that hollowed cheekbone look that I'm looking for. So I'm just taking it from the top of the ear in an angle towards the corner of the mouth, but I'm stopping applying pressure right around the outer eye or the center of the pupil, and then I'm pressing it upwards to blend it out rather than downwards. If you blend it downwards, then you end up having like a 5 o'clock shadow. Looks like you have dark right here. That's not good. So blend upwards, and that'll help it blend into your blush as well. I'm taking a little bit on that brush, same color, and doing the sides of the nose. It's going to slim out the nose a little bit. I'm doing a little bit on the tip, which will make my nose look a little bit shorter. Then I'm taking that same brush, but I'm going into the warmer shade. So this cool tone one is what I just used, the center. I'm going to use the warmer one. This is called Laetus, L-A-E-T-U-S. Oh, these are Latin. I don't know. I'm taking that shade and applying that to the perimeter of the forehead. So this I'm using more as a bronzer than a contour. Giving me a bit of a sun-kissed warmth. For blush, I'm using the Kat Von D Everlasting Face Shaper Blush. This is in the shade Heartagram. I'm not 100% sure if they're still selling these, but Heartagram is so pigmented, guys, like ridiculously pigmented. I just went top, look at my brush. So I have to get rid of some of the excess here. I really don't need much with this. So that eyeshadow palette is matte. All of the shades are matte, and it doesn't come with a highlighter. I don't have a highlighter from Kat Von D. So this is the Laura Gellar Baked French Vanilla, the baked highlighter in French Vanilla. And I'm just using a small brush. This one has no name brand on it. I think it's by Crown. And I'm applying this right at the top of the cheekbones, just because that blush is kind of matte, the bronzer's matte, the contour's matte. All of the foundation is matte. I just wanted a little bit of highlight, and I'm actually going to use the same color on a small pencil brush, taking it right down the tip of the nose too, and I'm going to apply that to the inner corner of the eye for my highlighter. This is a Sigma pencil brush E30, and I'm just applying that right there. I just like a little brightness. I don't mind that her palette is matte. I just feel the need to pull in one shimmery shade to pull it all together. Now I'm going back into the palette. I am using Ludwin and this creamy white shade with that same pencil brush. I'm applying that right underneath the brow bone. Then I'm taking the Sigma E35 taper blending brush. It's just a fluffy brush. And I'm using the warm shade in here that I used as a bronzer, Laetus. And I'm applying that in the crease and slightly above the crease. In windshield wiper motions, back and forth. And that'll be my transition shade for the look. So I went ahead and finished the other eye, the first eye, so that I knew what I was doing. And I really like the liner, the way it turned out. It's actually like a forest green color, but the rest is so neutral. So let's go ahead and do it. I have the Sigma E55 eye shading brush. It's just a flat eyeshadow shader brush. And I'm using a tan, like basically a nude color. It's called Samael. And I'm applying that to the lid. It could basically be your brow bone shade or whatever you used there. And I'm going to set this brush aside, and I will come back and touch it up once we've done some other products. Then I'm using the Sigma E25 blending brush, and I'm using the shades that I used in my eyebrows. Latinas and Citri? Why she has to make her name so hard, I don't know. But I'm taking this soft blending brush in the crease, back and forth, all the way from inner corner to outer corner. Not really doing a cut crease, just contouring the eye shape. Then I'm using the Sigma E39 Buff and Blend brush. It's like a stiffer brush, going in with a darker shade of brown. These are the ones I used in the crease just now. These two. Then I'm going in with this one. On the Buff and Blend, being very precise. I just want it here in the outer V area. And the difference between the crease shade and this is very subtle, if you couldn't tell. Like, it's not much difference, but packing a little bit more punch. Then I'm going back in with the brush I used for the transition shade, that peachy brown shade, the one I used for my bronzer. I'm blending out the edges here. And last but not least, I'm touching that lid shade up again, so it really makes it pop. Alright, now I'm using the Kat Von D ink liner. It's a liquid eyeliner in the shade Bukowski. Bukowski. Bukowski is a forest green color, and it's kind of hard to see, so I'm just gonna like make a huge generous swatch on my hand. Maybe you can see the green. But yeah, I'm just going to do a line here all the way across. I do mine in small strokes. Apply some mascara. I have tried the Kat Von D Immortal Lash mascara, and I did not like it. This is a sample of Urban Decay Perversion, but I don't like it either. I think I'm a mascara snob. But anyway, I'm just applying mascara to the top and bottom lashes. If you wanted to, you could apply some shadow or something to the lower lashes. But I think that for like a daytime look, it's really nice to just do a little bit of mascara. It's very subtle and looks more natural. But if I wanted to wear this like for evening or make it a little bit more dramatic, I would apply some liner or powder down there. Alright guys, this is the finished look. From afar, it just looks like a normal daytime look, no big deal. But when you get up close, you can see that I have like that forest green liner that's really interesting to look at. I love Kat Von D as a brand. I want to pick up more of her products. Let me know what some of yours are down below. I had others to choose from in this look, but I wasn't, I just wanted to create something natural and fun. But let me know if you like any of her like little eyeshadow. I think they're quads or quints. I'm kind of interested in those. I'm interested in her setting powder. Let me know down below what you have from Kat Von D and if you think it is worth the money. Thanks for watching. Bye.